quick smoke break and I'll be ready. Keep driving, baby, set the track. With the rain pouring down your back, feel the weight dragging you down. Get up, breathe the air right now. Roll, baby, through the waves. When the crews sing better days, crashing through the waves again. Start riding on the back of the wind. Leaving people change when they fall. Anxious world lives fast and small. Easy tempo wins the race. Come short and get out paid. Lost in waters up ahead. I sink a ship and you wind up dead. Beyond the shady grove, my baby waits and the fireflies glow. Sail fly, sail fly, sail fly. Caught in this twilight laze, senses hindered so many ways. Moving on your own again. When you're lost, you found my.
What is up, Jags fans? Here we are after another loss, but I think there's some optimism. It's a film breakdown Tuesday. I'm excited for the show. I know you are too, as fellow Jags fans. We have good, we have bad, and we have ugly. All right. We're going to start with the good film. Before we get to the good film, though, make sure you subscribe to the YouTube channel. All right. We do live shows twice a week. We sprinkle in some other things in the off season, and it's a very fan interactive show. So we want you to be a part of the show. We want you to put your comments in there, and you can only be a part of the live shows if you get notifications of when we are live. Tuesdays and Fridays at 9 p.m. Set your calendar. That's typically our show schedule, but get all the updates on Twitter and on Instagram as well. We appreciate you guys all being here. This is I'm excited for this show because I'm a Jags fan. Look, we were in it in the thick, we were in it in the thin. We're okay. We're okay. First one in the chat, always got to give a shout out. We got Shay, channel member Shay. He says, let's go. You too can be a channel member. It's only like $3.99 a month. It's worth it. It's a good time. You get channel membership perks like cool name badge and all other things that are worth $3.99. But needless to say, everyone in the chat, so glad you're here. William says, Duval. Fat Boy Shot says, yes, sir. Eddie says, we here. Oh, Cash has got a long one. Okay. He says, Shaq, what the heck, man? You let a 3 and 13-yard fade streak over your head. 3rd and 13. Okay, all right, so listen. Shaq Griffin. I'm seeing a lot of Shaq Griffin. Now, a lot of these clips, it's pretty evident that Shaq Griffin is the one to blame. However, my attempt on this show is going to be not to get on Shaq Griffin too bad. Not because I don't think he deserves it. I just don't want to beat a dead horse. I know everyone's disappointed in Shaq Griffin. All I will say about him is I don't see how the coaches can watch this film and then start him next week. I don't know how they can do it. I mean, he was not good. And listen, we're all entitled to bad days, but I just don't understand how a coaching staff could look at that and think that's viable for another start next week. I think any other combination, you have to at least try. That's all I'm going to say. We have some good clips. We have some bad clips loaded up. We're going to start with the good clips, all right? Now, before we get to those, you guys know I like to always start with the PFF grades. What can I say? I like PFF. You may not like PFF. That's fine with me. It gives us context, right? It gives us, like, how many snaps they played and things like that. All right, so Jawan Taylor was the highest graded player. All right, there's a lot of Jawan Taylor hate. I think we've come around and said, all right, Jawan Taylor, we're okay. Okay, he's been playing really well this year with an 80 grade. Okay, I mean, just overall good grade. I mean, played every snap, 63 is what we'd love to see. Travis Etienne, I think we could have all guessed that one, right? Great grade overall. Luke Farrell, right? This is where PFF gets a little funky. He only played in 8 snaps, so it's hard to kind of get an accurate. You kind of have to throw him out of this list. Trevor Lawrence, coming to number 4. All right, I like this. A 71 grade, 82 running grade. That actually probably helped him more than anything, is that running grade. But he was a good runner. James Robinson, Zay Jones, Jamal Agnew. I mean, this is who you want being your highest graded guys. So Brandon Sheriff's run block grade, I don't know if you can see it. Here, let me see if I can. I don't know if you guys can see Brandon Sheriff's run block grade, but 57.5. A couple plays I thought he kind of whiffed on his block, but again, it's going to happen. It's going to happen, all right? Can't worry too much about that. All right, so let's look at the defensive grades. Tyson Campbell, highest graded player. Good. You want to see that. I think I saw a bunch of things come out this week about him being the best player on the defense. Devon Hamilton, played in 47 snaps, not a bunch of snaps. What's interesting is 33 of them were pass rush and 13 were run. And I know the Colts threw it a lot more than they ran it, but still, I mean, they put him out there on pass rush downs. Josh Allen, Andre Sisco, Roy Robertson Harris, who has been very impressive. Foysadie Movement only played in 3 snaps. Probably should have played in more. Wingard even got a snap. But, let's go down. I know you guys want to see Shaq Griffin 14th. Yeah, that's not a good grade. 50.9 defensive grade. His coverage grade was 48.9. Darius Williams' coverage grade was lower. So that's why I like to look at it, because maybe we missed something. Look at Devin Lloyd. Devin Lloyd's coverage grade was a 28.9. Not a great game from Devin Lloyd. But that's okay. He's a rookie. He might have just had his coming back down to earth game, which, like I said, the best players have these types of games. Okay. Oh, Brenneman has become a member. Oh, man, look at that. Brenneman has become, he's on the Matt Jones level. Wow, thank you, Brenneman. I appreciate it. Appreciate you being a channel member. I'd like to think we have a good time around here. Thank you for being a member. Shout out to you guys. I'm really backed up on the chat, and here's why, guys. Look at this. Here's why. I'll give you a little look here. I have 29 plays. I don't know if we're gonna get to all 29, okay, but I have a lot. So I'm gonna try to get to some of the comments. Hosh all had to pop in. Yeah, I like that. I can't see the chat for some reason. Here we go. All right. Robert Landis said, play Busta Brown. Okay. Shay says, Devin Lloyd looks slow. He stood out almost as if he was hurt. That's a good point. Brendan says, hell yeah, brother. Brendan, I appreciate you, man. Thank you. DJM says, Jason Son. Predator says, I second playing of Busta Brown. Jaggernaut says, what's up, Jags United? Not much. Having a good day. I mean, I'm having a pretty good start to the week, regardless of the Jags. Besides the Jags, the week's going good. So I can't help but be in a good mood. All right, so here's the problem. You guys know I am a coverage guy. I love coverages. For those who don't know, I coach defensive backs for a number of years. I get obsessed with coverages. All right, I love it. I was very interested to see. I watched the whole game, and I paid attention to the coverages. They played most of the game in cover 1. Man. Every once in a while, they played cover 3, and 1 or 2 plays I noticed cover 2. So they, regardless of being beat, they did not get out of their defensive game plan all game. They did not adjust at all. I don't know if I like that or don't like that, because although the Colts were carving us up and Matt Ryan was carving us up, like, we did the same game plan the first time we played the Colts, where we just stayed in our cover one man, and the Colts couldn't execute, and we ended up killing them at home. They came out at home and they executed. So I don't think Mike Caldwell is the guy that's going to change what he does. Okay, so ran a lot of cover one man. Now, so if you can see, I'll try to draw him. That is huge. How did that happen? Give me a second here. That's still kind of too big. I don't know if I like that size here. Let's try this one. There we go. I like this one better. So you have a middle of the field free safety. All right, this is Andre Cisco. Then you have an outside, you draw it like this for man coverage, okay? You have man coverage here, and you have man coverage here, and you have man coverage here. This is just straight a cover one. Like, no matter what happens, you have that man, okay? And the linebacker is responsible for the running back here. Straight man, just like if you went out and you played with your friends and you said, hey, everyone get a man, this is what they played in, okay? So I'm going to get into later. I'm going to break down. I'm a coverage nerd. I'm going to break down in a little bit what else they could have done in this situation, but this is what they did. So they played man all the way across. So the point of man was to keep everything like in front of you, right? This could also be a cover three where these corners bail, and then you just kind of cover in the middle here with your linebackers. But the problem is they played a lot of man. So this is what the play is designed to do. The Colts are going to throw it out to the flat. This is third down, right? So they're going to throw it out to the flat because that's what's open. All right. Now, in a cover three, where you're vulnerable is the flats and the sidelines. Basically, you're vulnerable on the sidelines. All right. Because if you're playing a good man coverage, you're going to try to push everything out because that's a harder throw and catch. So you're vulnerable on the sidelines. So if you play really good defense, all that's open is just the flat here. It's third down. It's third and about 6 or 7. The defense comes up and rallies and stops the back for a first down. That's what the defense is designed to do. Okay, so this was the first drive of the game. The defense did what it was supposed to do. It bended but didn't break, and then it could stiffen up if it needed to in man, like press man, but basically keep everything in front of you, play off man, and make them execute. So the first drive of the game, it worked. All right, so I just wanted to see, before we get to the bad, what the coverage is supposed to do. Okay, so when we get to some clips later, this is what the coverage is supposed to do. All right, let's look at just some good plays. We're not really going to dissect them because we all know they're good plays, and we've seen these types of plays before. ETN, just great kick-out blocks here. This is just what ETN can do, right? He can hit that gap, and he can make a huge play out of this. I mean, look again how they block here. The run. I like the run plays. You're going to get a manager's going to come in and block. I think this is Shatley's going to block, and then down block, and then you're just going to hit the gap. And if everyone blocks their man, we're good, and that's what they do. I like it. Tight personnel. That Christian Kirk block is what sprung it now. See? Now watch. Christian Kirk is going to come in and get a seal block here. Watch this. I always said Christian Kirk was a good downfield blocker. That's one thing that people do not talk about. I mean, it wasn't a great block, but it was enough, right? But he's a decent downfield blocker. And Zay Jones is the same way. I think we have 2 really good downfield blocking receivers, which is a positive. Jaggernaut says, good to hear, man. Let's hope for more wins. Ben Haney says, ignore my post. I butchered that like none other. I didn't even see it, Ben. Nolly Full Cab is a channel member. He's here tonight. What's up, Nolly? He spams the Blake Bortles emojis. R.I.P. Blake Bortles. Ben Haney says he meant to say, let's not pretend that Herndon hasn't been torched a lot in games. He started as well. So you're right. But you do have the option of putting Darius Williams out there at the corner. I think he played that when he was with the Rams. Put him out there, and then you move Herndon in the slot. I mean, you could try Shaq in the slot. I know he's done it a lot. You probably wouldn't trust him in the slot, to be honest, but he might be able to do it. Does ETN not have that speed to get to the end zone, or does the safety just have a good angle? Both. So I was talking to someone the other day, and they were talking about how Etienne is quick and accelerates really well, which he does, but he doesn't have the top end speed, right? So he's quick. He's quick in small spaces. I mean, if the game, he can play in a phone booth, right? But he doesn't have the top end speed, which is not a knock on him. People are talented in different areas, and he's talented in to be able to accelerate and change quickly. And a guy like, let's see here, a guy like this, he is more of a top end speed guy, right? Like he can get to, he's 0 to 60, and his 60 goes to 100. All right. So not only did a DB not have a good angle on him, so Etienne could have made this run, is what I'm saying. But you can still see Hasty's like top end speed here. Like he just goes. I mean, there's no catching him. I mean, they're not even trying. Look at 5. Look at 5. Doesn't even try. Watch this. Gone. He says, okay, yeah. Didn't even try. Got to give it to Hasty, man. You know, last week against the Texans at home, I was watching the game with my buddy, and I was like, did I just watch Michael Hasty going for 2 plays? And it baffled me because we've been calling for Robinson and Etienne to get more snaps. So to see snaps that could have potentially gone to one of those 2 guys go to Hasty against the Texans, I was like, what are they doing? Like, but then you see this, and you're like, oh, he can do that. So it just stinks that Doug Peterson likes to throw more than he likes to run. Mr. October says, I'm a little late, but I'm glad I can watch one of these live. Mr. October, that I know. I love it live. We always start at 9 o'clock. So I know you guys got lives going on. But if you can get it at 9 o'clock, that's when we start. Mohan says, 4-game winning streak incoming. 1% says, if we can go 2-0, we can turn this around. Yeah, 1%'s got some good comments. He does. I like he's pretty insightful typically. A couple more good, boys. A couple more good. How about this, right? I'm trying to stay a little positive. We talked about how we didn't like Doug Peterson getting cute, I think was the words I heard people use. Because, just run the football. Well, here's a third down play where, I don't know if it's third down, they got cute. They gave an end around to Agnew, and he took it to the 1-yard line. Now, here's the thing. Like, Trevor Lawrence gets credit for this touchdown, right? If you look at the stats, you see Trevor Lawrence's rushing stats, and you say, oh, 2 rushing touchdowns. Nice. But in my mind, this is why I evaluate my eyeballs, I give this touchdown to Jamal Agnew. I mean, Jamal Agnew was the one that made this play. And so in my mind, when I'm thinking of Jamal Agnew, I remember things like this. That's why you can't rely too much on stats. Great play. I love the trickery. It works. When it works, people love it. Okay? When it works, people love it. But when it doesn't work, people hate it. The same goes with being boring. Like, if he were to line up and just, run it down the middle, he's like, oh, they didn't get it. They're going to be like, oh, why do you do such a basic play? Like, you're Doug Peterson. Like, you're a play caller. There's no winning in that situation. I kind of like trick plays. I kind of would rather see him do it. And I get the sentiment of, I think I have it. Yeah, here, I'll just pull this one up now. I get the sentiment of this 4th down option play. Like, I get that. Like, you see this on 4th down, and you're like, oh, what are we doing? Like, that was 4th down. Like, maybe do that on 3rd down, something like that. But they had been getting to the edge pretty successfully all game. Etienne has a toss sweep I'll show after this. They were getting to the edge pretty successfully, and that's something that I kind of was on the Jags early. I thought they were trying to get to the edge too much early in the season. I was thinking, those of you that watched the show and other film breakdowns from other games, you know me, I like to run it right through here. Like, that's where I want to run the ball because I know I can, I count helmet on helmet. Like, I can count those numbers. And if I can block it up correctly, we should be able to hit it every time. You can tell I'm a run the ball guy. Okay? I think they could have gotten it here even in this pistol formation. But here's another thing. Like, the Jags don't run pistol like this very often. Like, they will bring in a back and motion him in a little weird formation like this, or they'll do a jet sweep, but they very rarely are in this formation. So I kind of knew something was up when I saw them come out in pistol with no other back in the backfield. I cringe every time we go shotgun on 4th and 1. Like I said, man, I kind of would rather see this stuff. I know it didn't work, but I would rather see this stuff than just the boring. I mean, this is what won Doug Peterson a Super Bowl. You got to remember that. Like, he won a Super Bowl on the Philly special. Do you think he's going to turn into the boring basic coach now? Like, he's not going to turn into that. All right. We didn't do this very well all game. But here it is right here. Look at this. I didn't even set this up. It's the exact formation I was talking about. Look. Now they're in that little pistol halfback thing there. Look at that. Okay, that was great timing. All right. Here I was talking about was this the end around? This is the end around. Yeah, we saw this all play. Okay, so I have to find it. Here it is. We talked about the jump ball being deadly here. Now, I won't necessarily think this was a great throw by Matt Ryan, but this was it. Okay, so this is back. We'll go back to our cover one. Okay, so here's a play. Like I told you, the Jags ran cover one literally every play. And they'd come out and they would show cover two. Like, look at this. They're showing cover two. Like, look at that. Oh, there's 2 deep safeties. We're going to trick Matt Ryan. And to be honest, this was like one of the better disguisings they did all game. Okay, and so they're going to start out with the cover two shell. And then at the snap, look what happens, okay? So at the snap, they're going to roll Cisco to the middle of the field, and they're going to walk down Jenkins. Could be reversed. I can't see. All right, and so now they're going to play. Look what they're doing. Man. He's going to be manned here. He's blitzing. He's blitzing. He's got the running back. And then he's coming down now to play this man assignment. Look at this. His man assignment is this. Like, that's hard. I mean, this is at the snap. Like, I get it wanting to disguise it, but, like, you wanting to disguise it now put your defense in a bad position. All right? So, we're going to snap the ball here. Where do they throw it? To the outside. Okay? I told you they were going to try us on jump balls. This is the only one that really worked, I think, for us. And, again, Matt Ryan kind of throws it low. But good job, Tyson Campbell. You're good. All right. Another guy that's been pleasantly surprising to me, Roy Robertson Harris. Okay, I questioned him last year. I thought I didn't see what Urban saw in him when he signed him. Now I see. Now, I mean, he does this thing regularly. Right, you're gonna see him lined up on the outside shoulder of the guard. They have they have the tight end of the boundary. Right, the boundary is which way is closest from the hash. But the hashes are so narrow in the NFL. They probably called the strength to the offense's left here. Roy Robertson Harris is just going to kind of come through, get to this gap, and he's going to knife up, get his hands up. I mean, this was one of the more effective things that we did, was get our hands up from the interior. So, I like it. Another play, Roy Robertson Harris. Watch him on the outside here. I mean, this is a good move. Like, this is a good pass rush move, okay? So here he's going to be lined up on the outside shoulder of the tackle. I'm sorry, the inside shoulder of the tackle. All right, so the strength of the field is probably to the offense's left here, right? So they got him on the strong side. He's just setting that anchor to the field. Okay, now watch his move here. Punch, grab. I mean, that's a strong man right there. The tackle has to hold him because he just gets whipped, and the ref just throws a flag. It's a holding. I mean, this play came after a bad passing interference, I believe. So this play was pretty big for us to get them away from the end zone. Christopher J says Jags' best defensive call is Shaq Griffin covering the bench. Okay. Mohan, statistically, we're one of the better teams in the league, but we lose in the most bizarre ways. You're right. And that's one thing I wanted to kind of just say at the beginning of the show is I was a little optimistic on Twitter about how I felt about the game. Not because I'm just a super optimistic guy, but I remember last season not being competitive and being a bad team. That's the thing about the NFL is there's not supposed to be any bad teams in the NFL. With the emergence of the draft and how valuable it's become, you'll see more discrepancy than there used to be. But these are all pro athletes. There should not be any bad teams, okay? What bad teams look like are inconsistent, right? What makes good teams good is that they're consistent. Bad teams are supposed to have games like this, and they're supposed to have good games. When you look at the Jags the last couple seasons, They never even were competitive. So we got a little. We're at least upgrading. We're trending in the right direction. So now we just need to learn how to go from inconsistent to consistent. I hope that makes sense. Bad teams find ways to lose. Yes, you're right. All right, let's get back to the film. Probably better at film than I am philosophy, but maybe not. We'll see here. I only have one. I only have two more good plays. I like this one. This was a Trevor designed run. Again, this was stuff we kind of wanted to see Trevor do more, is run the ball. I get not wanting to run them if you're a quarterback's coach, but no denying this play just works. I mean, you have Jawan Taylor, who, again, started to be the show with him. Absolutely. He might be, I mean, if I'm ranking who I'm most impressed with this year, I think Jawan Taylor goes number one, who I'm most impressed with. Rayshawn Jenkins and Roy Robertson Harris are fighting off that spot. Two guys that, again, I wasn't sure about last year. ETN has been very impressive. If Trevor Lawrence continues to do what he did on Sunday, then he will be there too. But Jawan Taylor's got to be it. Just a design double block. I mean, we're gonna get downfield runoffs and blocks here. Great design. Run to the field or run to the boundary. There you go. Get your lead blocks. Get out of bounds or don't get hurt. I like it. Last play. This was a touchdown play. I mean, this was it right here. I mean, Kirk, way to get on the board. This is just, the Jags ran this a lot because, again, you're going to see this one high. This is Gus Bradley's defense, cover 3, all game. We basically did what Gus Bradley does last game. And then we're just going to run a little smash concept, so a little corner, a little flat. Trevor's going to roll out. Great play. That's hard to cover right there. That is hard to cover. You can't hate on Peterson too much. I get the don't want him to be a gambler and cute on those plays, but I mean, I like Peterson. If that shotgun 4th and 1 worked, Peterson would be called a genius. It didn't, and people are hating. I agree. I like the call. Doug is a gambler. Things like this will happen. I have faith. Thank you, Brenneman. Brenneman gets it. Israel Otero. Trade Griffin in a second to Carolina for Burns. Or we're just going to give all of our cast-offs to Carolina. You can only rip off a team so many times, Israel, before they stop taking players from you. I mean, fool me twice, Ben Haney. Saw a tweet saying it would be the most Jaguar thing ever to finally end the huge losing streak against NFC teams by beating the same team they beat last time, the Giants. Oh, listen, I don't think the Giants are that impressive. I know their record's good, but I was talking with a buddy the other day, like, what skilled players do they have? Like, they have Saquon. I know Saquon's good, but outside of that, like, who do they have? Jags United. You don't go backwards or sideways to get 1 yard. Never. Okay. That is a very understandable and old school way of thinking. Not bad old school, just old school. You have a point. Jags are favored against the Giants. Vegas agrees with you, Jason. Yeah, I was listening to the radio today. They were talking about how the Giants are one of the worst teams against the run. And so the Jags should be able to run all over them. I mean, the Colts were one of the best teams against the run, and we ran all over them. So just run the ball, Doug. Run the ball. That saying ends full me thrice. Can be. I know. Tugger Nut. Yo, I made it for some of the best Jags content on YouTube. How you doing, mate? Tugger Nut, I'm doing all right, man. I appreciate you asking. Having a pretty decent week. I'm happy it's football season. I'm going to the game this week. I can't wait. Super excited. If you're going to the game, hit me up. We found a new spot that we like to hang out now. A new spot. So you have to hit me up on Twitter or Instagram. It's a big open area. It's not the Bud Zone. Okay. No, that's for young people. We gonna ask if Vegas still siding with us? Brenneman says. Israel Otero says this team is hard to work. It's the same thing week in and week out, and they got to find a way to lose. All right. Giants worst team, and yet they might win this next one, my opinion. Yeah, I mean, they're playing well. All right, let's take a look at some coverage things here. All right, let's get a little nerdy on coverages. If you're not into that, then now's the time to turn it off. If you are into that, here we go. All right, so again, this was one of the few. I showed you an example of when cover one worked, right? Think back to the first clip. I said this is what cover one's designed to do. It's designed to keep everything in front of you, short, bend but don't break, and make them not get completions. So this is like a 3rd and like 6, same situation as the one that we saw. The Jags had a huge problem covering tight bunch. So tight bunch is basically when you just have 3 people lined up tight to the line of scrimmage in a bunch like this. Like the Jags could not stop this. Now, one problem is that they were unable for some reason they don't pattern match. Okay? So a really popular way, and I have another clip to show this, another popular way to defend a trips right bunch or a trips bunch like this is to have this forward guy just press him. He's got to get a piece. Okay? And now he's locked up with this point man. And then this guy takes first guy in, and he takes first guy out. Okay, it's called pattern matching. It's palms coverage. There's a lot of different names for it, but basically you watch this guy, right? Because he's the 2 in this situation, the 2 receiver, and whatever he does dictates what everyone else does. Okay, as far as who you're covering, right? If he goes in, guess what? He knows he's manned up here no matter what. All right, so we could not defend this. They're in man. They're gonna run him all the way across, basically a pick play. And Shaq Griffin gets beat. Now, if Shaq Griffin was really fast and a little bit quicker, he maybe could have gotten there and tackled him like maybe a lot sooner. But he got beat with it. Couldn't chase him across the field. All right, let's take a look at another one here. All right, cover one. Again, they have one middle of the field free safety, and then they're just manned up everywhere. Like literally just he's got him. And this is it. They're cover one all day. This is all they did. All right. So I'm not getting on Shaq Griffin. Again, this is a mistake a lot of corners make. Hopefully not in the NFL, but you're manned up everywhere. Okay. So he knows he's locked up in man coverage here. So when you're a corner, you're taught this. What's the most dangerous route? The most dangerous route is a slant. Okay. A slant is the easiest route for them to complete. So when you're in man coverage, you're telling yourself, don't get beat by the slant over and over again. In fact, it's so important that when you're in man, you're supposed to line up in what's called inside leverage. Inside leverage is on the inside shoulder of the receiver. This gives you an extra step head start in case he does a move and then still tries to go inside. Or he has to come through you to get inside because you're lined up inside. That's what we teach young defensive backs. Now, where is he weak if he's lined up inside? He's weak to just the outside release. Where has Shaq Griffin not been good? On jump balls. What does he know that Indy wants to do? Throw jump balls. So he's probably cheating the outside release more than he should be. And because of that, look what Pierce is able to do. Pierce, the guy we talked about as the most dangerous, this is 3rd down. This would have gotten us, this is the difference between a field goal and a touchdown, right? So it can't cover the slant. Lets him release inside. Is that Lloyd almost gets it here? Like Lloyd almost drops into like the right zone to get it, but Matt Ryan's just too accurate. Throws it right through him. 1st down. All right. Here's another one. This one looks like they might be in a cover 3 just because of how off they're playing. Okay. So the only difference between cover 3 and cover 1 is cover 1 is you're manned up pre-snap no matter what. And cover 3, you're responsible for just this deep third. He's responsible for middle third. He's responsible for deep third. So ultimately, it probably will end up being these guys. But in the event that he wheels out and he comes in, like Griffin is still responsible for the 2 receiver, 2, 1, if that happens. Okay, so it looks like they're in cover 3 on this play. And Devin Lloyd, like Shay was talking about, like he looks injured. Like he looked injured right here. Okay, he's going to line up here looking like he could blitz. Okay, this is like lined up in the 9 technique. They line up Josh Allen out here sometimes, okay? So they got him there, and he's going to just drop into a zone, and he's just gets beat on a crossing route. And I mean, maybe it's another pick play. I mean, Indy ran their routes through the defender they knew was responsible for the zone. I mean, it's what good coaches will do. You have to get around the traffic. I mean, that's part of playing the NFL. Lloyd gets caught up in the traffic. Was that another third down? I don't know, but gets caught up in the traffic. Coverage was not good. Lloyd had a rough game too, was not making his tackles. We didn't look like a tough defense out there. Yeah. Raiden says, hello. What's up, Pokey? Murtaza says, does Trevor go through progressions? On his first look, he threw one to Robinson, who got tackled immediately. Okay, here's what I didn't like. I'm glad you brought that up, Martuza. Let me find it here, because this is really important, and it goes to your point. One second here. Oh, this one. Now, this is the play that Cole Van Lanen came in. All right? So, this is the play that Brandon Sheriff went out. Now, I clipped it like this on purpose, okay? This goes to your point, Murtaza. I clipped it intentionally, okay? This is NFL replay, flipping from one play to the next, okay? Watch how quickly, this is third down, by the way. Watch how quickly the Jags break the huddle, get to the line of scrimmage, and look how quickly it all happens, okay? Watch it. Change play. They line up. 1 second, snap the ball. Trevor looks left, and there's a guy in his face. Okay, yeah, Cole Van Lanen did get beat here, okay? And he came in for one play and got beat. But why was the game plan when you had a new guard in? Why was the game plan to break the huddle as fast as possible and snap the ball as fast as possible on the third down on your own 20? I get you're trying to beat them with tempo. I get that is what you're doing. But in this situation, I think you want your quarterback to have some time to read the defense and look at what could potentially be open. I mean, the Colts are in a muddle huddle, right? Because the Jags are in a muddle huddle. And so they break the huddle, and Trevor doesn't even have a single second to read what coverage they're in. Not even a second. Doesn't even look around, doesn't identify the mic. Just snaps the ball like he had a pre-snap read. And his pre-snap read wasn't open. Okay? Or in the throwing lane that he was going to throw, and he wasn't open. Good thing he didn't throw it. No one was open. So he was given one play, one read, with no chance at even surveying the defense. That was weird to me. All right, now stop. Now, based on the route you called, I mean, they're still talking to each other. Oh, they pattern matched. Must be nice. Okay, he did have the corner open, but yeah, Van Lanen gave it up too quickly. But you got to know that. When you put in a backup guard, you got to know that he potentially could get bull rushed on his first play. So maybe don't run a play that is a designed 3-snap drop and empty. Is Trevor a gunslinger or a game manager? He's both. Trevor's going to be fine. Trevor's going to be just fine. He's progressing about the rate I thought he would, okay? People like Justin Herbert are the exception, okay? That's very rare that someone does that. Even a guy like Josh Allen had a similar progression as Trevor Lawrence. And he looked great last week. Maybe Wingard was in charge of that man. Yeah. So, no, Murtaza, I don't think he goes through his reads at all. Again, these aren't good. We are doing through the good plays, guys. Here's another play talking about that same bunch that I was talking about, right? So the Jags had absolutely no answer for this trips bunch. Now, again, they run the same play 5 times, and the Jags just don't ever adjust to it. Okay, they're gonna play press, they're gonna play man, and they're gonna play man no matter what. Okay, no matter what. No chance at inside, outside. Pattern matching. You could run a little abbreviated, cover 2 for half of the field where he drops to the flat, he drops to halves, and then he gets some sort of cover 6 concept, quarter, half. You had options to do something besides just play straight man and get abused by this bunch. Devin Lloyd stands no chance. He stands absolutely no chance here. Devin Lloyd isn't a press corner. He's not a linebacker. This is just he wasn't looking to get. He wasn't looking for contact. So that's probably the coaching point they're going to give Devin Lloyd is if you're going to commit enough to where you're forward on your toes and you're like off balance, you've got to get a piece of this guy. You cannot give him a clean release and be off balance. See, look, it's like he goes in with just like a little one-arm punch and gets beat. Gets tossed, actually. They should call that OPI. That's OPI. That's just straight OPI. That's OPI. Volkfang, whoa, would you look at the time? Almost missed another live stream. Volkfang, I'm glad you're here, but you know better. You know we start at 9 o'clock. Ben Haney, biggest threat in the passing game for the Giants. They're gonna jump ball whoever the receivers are. I don't even know who their receivers are. I haven't gotten into any of their game planning yet. I start that usually tomorrow after these shows. Darius Slayton, Marcus Johnson, Wan'Dale Robinson's been good. Their tight ends have been good. Bellinger's been good. Yeah, but I'm sure I'll love these guys after I watch their film, but Daniel Jones doesn't scare me. Saquon's like obviously really good. Slayton maybe. Tony hasn't done anything. Sills, Galladay, Colin Johnson. Look at that. I don't know. Not worried. All right, we got more film, but I'm getting a little depressed watching this film. So let's talk to the chat for a second and talk. Like, you guys tell me what you think. I'm getting depressed watching all this coverage stuff because, cover it differently. Like, we've already seen two. We have more of the same exact. Brandon Jones said, finally made it to a live show. Sorry, you caught me in a bad moment there, Brandon. Shay, has Trayvon learned one pass rush move this year? Also, where's Allen and Key? Yeah, that's a good point. I don't have any. They didn't have a great game. I know they threw the ball quick, but this game defensively, if we're going to assign blame, it's on the linebackers. The linebackers did not play great. D-line didn't have the opportunity to play better. Now, if the linebackers would have stepped up and would have forced them into longer down and distances, then the D-line could have had time because you had to take a deeper drop to throw it deeper down the field, and then the D-line can get involved as far as pressures and sacks. But when you continually get beat underneath in the mid-range game, then the D-line can be totally neutralized and be taken out of the game. I don't know. That's a situation where you might like to be more in that 4-3 traditional 3 linebackers because, you're putting Alukin and Lloyd, who are good, but, then who's the next guy that's going to play? Josh Allen's proven not to be great in drop backs. Travon Walker's not great when he zone drops. Hamilton's not good when they're all in the right spot. They're not there enough to make a play. Muma barely played. I think he played like 4 snaps. So, that was a guy, Muma, I thought. You walk down Rayshon Jenkins into the box. He's been better, but he's still not that linebacker guy. And sometimes you need that linebacker guy. And I think that's kind of hurting us is not, I don't know. It's just hurting us right now. The lack of versatility from Allen or Walker to zone drop is hurting us. I think that's fair. Hit the like button, says Robert Adsert. Colin Johnson? I remember that name, says Brendaman. Nate Pierce, why are the Giants good this year? I haven't watched them this year. Their roster doesn't look great. I haven't watched them either. But rest assured, by Friday on our next live show at 9 p.m., Volkfang, 9 p.m. on Friday, our next live show, we're going to be talking all about the Giants because I like to do my film research. Can't wait to go through the games and see how they've actually won. But to your point, I'm right there with you. I have no clue until Friday. Friday, I'll know. So we drafting a corner at number 1 or a receiver at 10? Receiver. Yeah. You can get a corner in the second round. I'm tired of not having a first round receiver. Shay says Jags are losing, but at least they're losing after going up 2 scores. A different but more interesting problem to have this year. Shay, I know, has been a equally committed Jags fan as me. Maybe more so, to be honest. So Shay and me have the context of this is so much better than it's been. It's hard to be mad. It's hard to be mad, right? Like, I don't have kids, but if I had a kid and they were getting like F's and D's on their report card and they came in with a C, I'd celebrate. Yeah, hey, you can't get to A without going to C, right? So you want your kid to make all A's, they got to make all C's first, all right? So listen, we're here. We're making C's. We're making even B's sometime. So boys, keep it up. Keep rewarding them. Positive reinforcement. Buy tickets, go to the game. Send nice things on Twitter to me or the Jags. Mohan says, Trevor was just throwing screens all game except on that one fourth quarter drive. Yeah, I have that one queued up. I basically showed all those plays already at the beginning. That one drive at the end was consisted of almost all of the good plays from my clip column. That's one of my days off. I'll be sure to catch that one. Nice, Volk Fang. We're literally the opposite of the Giants. The Giants win close games they should lose. We lose close games we can win. Well, something's got to give, Brenneman. Can't be that way forever. All right. I'm happy now. I've talked myself into being happy. Let's go back to some bad plays here. All right. So here, I have so many of the same type of play. I may have already shown this because this is this is Devin Lloyd getting beat again. Did I already show this play? Nope, this is a different play. Okay. So look, this is tough to defend, right? That's smashed. I mean, what do they do here? There they go. The Jags, here they go. So look, they're going to show you pre-snap that they're in too high. Look at this. Oh, we don't want that color. They're in too high. Okay, except Rayshon Jenkins is walking down and Cisco's edging this way. A guy like Matt Ryan sees that. He knows you're not playing cover two. Not only are you not tricking him, is you guys never played cover two besides one or two plays. So we're just gonna assume you're in cover one or one high until you are not. And look at this. At the snap, look where they're gonna roll. They're gonna roll into that one look there. All right. Devin Lloyd's going to have a hard time. This looks like a cover one robber, right? So this is a cover one robber. So you want Matt Ryan to think you're in cover two, and then right at the snap, get to the middle of the field, and Matt Ryan's not going to see you, and he's going to try to throw a cheeky slant or something like that, and you're going to intercept it, right? That's what I called the robber. But Matt Ryan goes, oh, wait, I just watched you roll into cover one. My O-line's giving me some time to throw, and he's going to hit the tight end on a – I mean, this route's really hard to defend in man. I almost can't blame Devin Lloyd because he's a linebacker, and this tight end, I mean, this is a hard route to cover. If it's thrown well and it's caught and it's ran well, that's hard to cover for anybody. Maybe with more experience, he learns to defend that. How about the 2-point conversion? All right, 2-point conversion. Hey, stop me when you've seen this before. Trips bunch. Here are the Jags, and their same trips bunch. Now, are they going to pattern match? Is he going to get a good jam here? Is he going to play first guy out? He's going to play first guy in. Is he going to just help here on the? Yeah, I mean that would be great. We pattern match and things like that. No, we're going to run man and just let them just completely destroy us. There's no chance at this. He's absolutely no chance. I mean, this is Shaq Griffin. Yeah, he didn't have a great game, but look at what he has to go through. Okay, he's in man coverage, and he's running through 4 players. I mean, that's a disadvantage. That's advantage wide receiver every single time. That's why you can't do that. I mean, look at what the Colts receivers do. I mean, this should be illegal. They're literally just going to smash into the defensive backs here. They're not even running a route. Clean release. That's hard. DB has no chance there. I know they've worked pattern matching. I know they've worked it to where you just kind of fade here. And when you see him come here and here, and then you see this, you jump that, and now it's an interception. It's just, I just don't get it. Don't get it. All right. I can't see any more of that play. And there's just so many of these plays just beating our concept here. Okay, now again, you're going to see the smash concept again. If you watch the channel enough, you know it beats it. So this is one of the few times they do run cover two. All right, so they're too high. So they got one half of the field, one half of the field. That's good because now he can help on this half of the field. Okay, so when you're playing zone, you're reading the 2 receiver. This is 2 receiver. This is the 1 receiver. This is the 2 receiver on the left. This is the 1 receiver on the left. Okay, so you're taught to read 2. Like, that should be his read, okay? Why? Because he tells you what's going to happen. If he runs out like this, then he's probably coming in, okay? If he runs vertical, okay, cool. He's your guy. If he runs a curl, all right, cool. Figure out what he's doing. He's probably going deep. So, like, he tells you what's going to happen. He doesn't read him at all. He sees him getting vertical, and there's the smash concept. Smash concept isn't supposed to work against cover 2. It's supposed to work against cover 1. They thought that they were going to roll into one high, and they were going to beat him here where there's no help. We had help. We still couldn't stop it. That's why I'm a little disappointed in the secondary, because we hadn't shown this. We hadn't shown this kind of level of miscommunication and not knowing where we're supposed to be. I don't know. We got to tighten up there. We got to tighten up. Now I've just lost track of. Here's another one. This is a different play. Different play. This is a different play. I know it looks the same. Trips bunch, okay? Trips bunch. Here we are. We're gonna cover it the same way we always cover it, because you know what? This time it's gonna work. This time it's gonna work. Oh, look. Doesn't work. Touchdown. Like, how many times do you have to get beat by the same thing before you change what you do? At least this one was a little more elaborate with the Colts. Like, they literally ran this exact same play. They're going to try to just run you out. At least they ran them out of their spots and didn't straight up block them this time. But, again, just not a great situation to be in for a defensive back when you're coming across like that. I mean, thought he stopped him, but he didn't. I don't know. Maybe I'm overthinking it. Maybe I'm overthinking it, guys. Maybe the game is designed to be much simpler so that players can go out there and play. And that's maybe something I have to accept. But I've taught this to high schoolers. So if I've taught this to high schoolers, I assume professionals can figure it out. Ben Haney says Sauce Gardner is the media darling right now. Yeah, I know. He's got a cool name. I like him. I love Josh Allen's locker room presser when he said, "We got dogs up front. 0 sacks with 58 Matty Ice dropbacks. We got puppies, dude." No, that's fair. That is fair. Volkfang says, "It's harder because they looked like they were getting perfect scores plus extra weeks 2 and 3. So this feels like regression, even though this is a better play at anything since 2017. Yeah, they have us on a little mini roller coaster. But at least we're on a roller coaster, and we're not just in the dumps, looking at the draft. So, yeah. I mean, we'll see. Look, I know this isn't going to be the most watched video because people don't like to watch losses, and that's fine. So I might as well just keep going. You guys want to see another bad one? Check this out. This is just, again, at the end of the game, the Colts are just running up the middle, and we can't tackle. Like, I don't understand where this is coming from, where we're, like, outstanding tacklers all game, until the very end. Until, like, we need it, then we can't tackle. Like, this is just a simple little inside zone. They're going to bring the guard around. This is simple. Like, go fill. Go get in the gap. Tackle. It's those little things, man. It's those little things. This one was pass interference on Shaq. I don't know if necessarily it was all his fault. Oh, here's the trips bunch. Let's see it. Let's see how they defend it this time. I honestly did not have this ready. They could be doing it differently here. But you look at this. It looks like cover 3. By the way, they're lined up. One high. Yeah, I mean that's that same route. I mean that out route's hard to defend, man. I mean that's a smash concept. When we talk about, I mean they love throwing this. This is the hardest thing, but that's the thing when you run a one high exclusive defense, you have to tell your players to be ready for that. Like you have to be expecting that. A good team is going to run this against you. Like I coach flag football. When a team runs one high, a lot of teams do. When they run one high, we run smashes literally exclusively because they're the hardest thing to defend. You send a guy here, and you send a guy here, and you make this guy pick who he's going to cover. If he covers him, then you throw it short. If he covers him, you throw it deep. I mean, it's so simple, but it's so hard to defend because you're just picking on one player. So they're going to just run it out of the trips bunch to not sell it, Okay, they get a little tricky with theirs, right? This is what pros can do. They're gonna run a post, and then they're gonna run the smash concept behind it. Okay, so this is gonna clear out your safety. This is gonna clear out your inside responsibility backer or nickel back. Okay, and you're gonna have the smash concept you want. Pass interference. It's hard, man. It's hard. They know what they're doing. This one's not good on Cam Robinson. Like, now, I don't even know if I'm saying his name right. Is it Odigbo or something like that? Odigbo is a much better player than he gets credit for. Okay, I will give you that. When we watched the Colts film on Friday and we talked about Odigbo because he actually has been pretty disruptive. But this seems like a block that a guy like Cam Robinson should make. And now, obviously, Cam Robinson's the left tackle, and he gets beat on that. I mean, he's not even. I know I'm critical, guys, and I know they're all better athletes than me. But he's not even really giving you a bunch of speed on the out move. So why are you committing so much of your leverage and body weight to the outside? And I know, it's easier for me to say, but you obviously, don't overcommit in that situation. That's a situation where you got to know pre-snap you can't overcommit unless he's like flying out there around you. Maybe he set him up. Maybe Odigbo, I didn't really pay attention to the plays before this. Maybe he set him up with speed and then just got him with it. Maybe. He's a good player. Jesus King says, was this the defensive coordinator? Was this on the defensive coordinator more than the RD? I don't know. Can't see film. Oh man, guys, sorry. We showed that whole play without film. Sorry, guys. All right. I'm not gonna. He gets beat. Cam Robinson just gets beat. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Just like I said, there's not a lot going on there. If you look at him, he's not flying upfield. So the only way that Cam Robinson is going to overcommit like this and get beat on the inside is if he's just been getting beat with speed on the previous plays, and he's got to be better, or you got to know, because a professional like him knows that you can't get beat like that. Not a great play. But I think this is on. Look, the Colts ran the same thing that we ran. They may have had more diversity with their play calls, but they essentially do what we did. They run the one high and they just flip it between cover one or cover three if they need, and they do the exact same thing, and they just let their athletes play. So you could say it's on the coaches if you think the coaches should have adjusted their game plan, and it's on the players if you think the players should have perform better in the roles they knew they had. So there's the two sides of the coin. Christian Paraguayan says, yo, Malik Washington says he looks lazy. Yeah, he does. Did we mention that 10-minute four-quarter drive from Trevor? Been looking for that clutch ability in him. Game on the line. He finally carried it. Love to see it. Hey, yes, sir. Listen, I got you there. I showed the good. Here, how about this one? Let's go to a good one here. We might have already shown this one. That same smash concept that we were talking about. Look at this throw to Zay Jones. This is actually covered as good as you can cover this, right? And, again, they snap the ball. People, they're not even set. ETN gets, a late release, and they're going to just run the smash concept. Look, just like the Colts did us. Yep, Colts rolled down to cover one the same way we do. Great route running by Zay Jones. Great throw by Trevor. Hey, man. Can't say a lot of bad about that. Can't say a lot of bad about that. Do I have another one? I have the design run. Yeah, so, yeah. All right, we'll just end it with this. We'll end the clips. I'm tired of seeing these bad clips, but what are we doing here? I'm actually might be on his side here. This is not. I don't know if I'd call this pass interference, but there's the jump ball. We were worried about the jump ball. There it is. Alec Pierce. Yellow flags, pass interference. Yeah. There's not much. Look, there's not much film. There's a lot of film, but I mean, it's not going to do any good. Like, I think the team's going to be better. I don't know. Turned plus pass set 2 outside 2 errors. One of the best throws this season. Yeah. Yep. King DC should have adjusted. Okay. So Jesus King says, I just feel this has to be on the D coordinator because football is a game of chess. Your play versus our play. Yeah, I agree. And it's weird because the strategy Caldwell has been doing had been working. The only times it broke down were at the end of the game versus a couple teams, like the very last drive, and this game. So, defense has been the bright spot for this team all year, and I would like to see the minor adjustments. I'm okay with Caldwell running his stuff. If Caldwell wants to just stay in this, that's fine. But the little adjustments, like within your scheme, like I was talking about, like pattern match that bunch, right? Don't just have the most inside corner coming across the formation and pick plays when you know that's what they want to do. That's what they did. So be ready for it. You can still run your cover one. You could still you want to play man. I like playing man, especially when you got dogs like Lloyd and Aluakon and Jenkins. I mean, all those athletic guys. I mean, I think you have to run man, and you just have to be smarter with it. Questionable pass interference. Yeah, he grabs Shaq's face mask on that play. Says Les Duval. Yeah. Jingle says Matt Ryan's arm has got to be sore. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, listen, it was great. It was a game to forget. I think they're going to learn from it. This team's still in the learning stages. Like I said earlier, okay? We're getting C's, all right? We're getting C's. They're not A's, but they're C's, okay? And listen, C's mean we're moving the right direction, okay? Can't get to A's unless you get to the C's first. Thank you guys for spending the time here on this show. You guys are awesome. I always love when you guys are here. Thank you for being just talking in the chat and being alive in it. I like it. Thank you a lot. Thank you, Brenneman, for joining the channel membership. There's another one in the channel membership. Before long, we're gonna have just a bunch of Jags United channel members on here, and it's gonna be great. Thank you. Thank you to everyone that was vocal. Jesus King. There was Ben Haney, Brenneman, Volkfang, Israel. Thank you guys. You guys are the ones that keep this channel going. We're gonna have another live show on Friday. So we do Tuesdays and Friday nights. So if you enjoy our shows, you can watch it on VOD replay, or you can watch us on Friday night at 9 o'clock. Be on time. Sometimes we start early on Fridays, but I send something out on Twitter or Instagram. So make sure you're following me there so that you know when shows are starting a few minutes early or late. And, man, I'm excited. Listen, Jesus King says, do you think we can beat the Giants? I think we can. Defense. If the defense and the offense show up on the same day, again, the sign of a good team is consistency. So if we can be consistent and we can do the things we need to do, then that's it. I mean, look, weird things happening every week. We're finally amongst the teams where it's any given Sunday. For years, it wasn't like that for us. It was the Jags are losing. Okay, now we're any given Sunday. Again, we're getting C's now. All right. Hey, thank you guys for being here. I appreciate it. If you have fun, make sure to also follow my Twitch. My Twitch is Jags_United. Sometimes I play video games and talk about the Jags at the same time. So you can check that out if you want. I pop on there late at night